Howdy, howdy, Zach Scott here with a quick, not necessarily tutorial, but somebody asked me to do a walkthrough of my video Bad Medicine where I would show off some of the weird effects that I do and how I do them for that video. So I'm just going to try and take 10 minutes here to just kind of quickly go through that video and call out anything that I think is a little ingenuitive or cool or not necessarily clear how I did it. So here's my file. I got the movie here right now. And I'm just going to kind of go shot for shot, or maybe in chunks, and just kind of call out what's weird. So the first thing off the bat that I want to bring up is this movie was actually done without any sort of like specific map. It's all just on the black void map that comes with Source Filmmaker. So if you look here, it's just TF Movies Black Void, and I just open it up and it's just a simple big black room that has no real geometry in it to speak of. And all I really did was I built shapes and silhouettes using models that I could find in Team Fortress and filled them in with big lights to create this sort of a gradient effect. So if you look here at this second shot, let me turn off the music. If you look here at this second shot, I have this window in the background, and all this window really is a couple of planks and the window frame itself. And then outside I have this little card that shows a bunch of tree tops from one of the maps from the skybox. And all I really do is put a big light behind it. So if I can find that specific light, I think it'll be this one. Center. Yeah, so I just have a big volumetric light here that I'm just pointing through the window, and that kind of gives me the shape that I want. But really, there's no map to speak of. It's all just fakery and trickery. So it was pretty interesting to try and develop this style, but I learned that it's really quick to do things this way, where you can just really just immediately rough out exactly the image you want. And I'm kind of trying to adopt it for most of my future films. And you will see a lot of this in this video. Pretty much everything in the environment is built out of cards or just a couple of props with a light behind it to give it some sort of shape. And so let's move on here. Actually, let's go back for a second. I have this Archimedes in the medic's hand. Just want to point out that this Archimedes does in no way fit in the hand. He's busting out the back like crazy. The wings are all folded in. But you know, you can really make a lot of things work just by not showing the bad parts. So you can see here, it looks fine even though it's totally broken. So moving on, I have this the first shot of the fluid. So I'm just gonna save this for a second here. Of the fluid, and this is a really easy prop to animate, contrary to what people believe. The fluid itself just has a couple of bones which dictate where the top of it is, and so it's got one here, and one over here, I guess. And so I'm really just kind of wiggling that around, and it's a pretty quick effect to kind of make some fake fluid dynamics. Continuing forward, we have the medic pulling the syringe. Nothing real fancy here. My favorite technique, you'll see, I blink the eyes as he looks to the side. It goes a long way to sell the glance. He places the fluid. Again, I'm just animating the bones here on the fluid to make it move. You'll notice that in this shot you can see clear through to the background, but because of the way the lighting works, it just seems like a black floor there. But it's in fact just straight open. So he keeps going here. I'm going to turn on particles so we can see them. Draw tool objects, particles. Okay, they're already turned on. As we go here, he injects, and I start to increase these particles. These are some particles that I built myself. They just kind of come in and float there. Again, I have some more particles here. You can see in the background I'm totally reusing those tree cards. I'm lifting everything up out of the shot. He leans back. You'll see the blink on glance again. Yep, looks great. Yeah, so I'm kind of just animating the quick fix here. This Archimedes effect is made out of two effects. It's a modified Medigun beam. So this, in this shot, it just shoots out of frame. So it just blasts from the Medigun and just goes to the side and kind of comes out like that. And then in this shot, it's blasting to Archimedes, but it very quickly just turns off. So it's it's an interesting effect. I think I can show you what it looks like if I go longer on it. So it's I'm really tightly controlling how long it runs. So if I grab this, I can make this a bit longer, so it make it direct emit for 10 seconds. Let's just try that. So if this were to go on forever, it would just be this kind of beam that follows Archimedes around. So it's just attached directly to him. You can see that there. And that's pretty much just a modified version of the Medigun beam. I can go into how to set something like that up in another tutorial. I've already done a tutorial about the bird, so I won't go into that specifically. But yep, so the bird lands, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've switched out all the cards already, so the background's nice and good. Let's see if I turn the lights on. Yep. So nothing super crazy here. Yeah, so it's all pretty straightforward. You'll see on the cut I switch out the type of grass I'm using, because I did the first half of the video with one kind of grass, and then switched out the, well, it's not grass here, it's the trees in the background here, and then it switches to grass kind of instantly. I didn't find the trees till towards the end, and at that point I went back and redid the whole first half of the video, so you'll see the trees don't appear much in the second half, even though they would have probably improved it. So I come here, and we have the stars. The stars are a cool effect. They don't always play right in Source Filmmaker, but what it is it's a particle effect I made of a field of stars, and in these shots I have a big static field in the background that you can see, but in this first shot I have a modified version where the stars kind of just start at the ground and float upwards. I can show this in the particle editor. So if I just quickly instance this, I can show you in a second here. Yep. So here we can kind of see those stars, and you'll see that they just spawn low and then move up high. So they spawn and float up into the sky. So the way I'm dealing with that is I have this script written by John McBroom, Jimbo MCB, called this particle timescale script, which I have set up here. And what that does is it allows me to animate the speed at which the particle simulates. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting the particle at a speed of about of pretty much full speed, and just as they float up, I'm ramping them down to a speed of 0, which gives them that kind of, they kind of come up and then stop in the sky effect. That one's I'm pretty happy with. I've got again, I'm just using the cards and the objects to make a nice background here. You'll see that I was really able to accomplish this shape without needing any custom assets at all, because once you add that harsh bright backlight on there, the silhouettes, like, because everything's black, it just lets you blend pretty much anything you want. So I think, yeah, these aren't even Team Fortress birds, they're Half-Life birds. You can see how kind of crazy everything is here if I fly around the map. It just looks totally different from another angle. I got some lumps here. I was going to have the spy head to kind of float up at a certain point in this scene, so I didn't get around to it because of time, but yeah, he was going to be in there too, so it's literally just a spy with his head coming through the table so that he looks like he's a head on a thing. But that didn't make it into the video, so we'll continue on. Let's see here. Yep, so we have the bird cage. Hopefully too many people didn't notice that there was already a bird in this bird cage. That's just it's a pyro hat that I found, so it was the best I could do on short notice. Yep, so nothing crazy here. Nothing crazy here. It's just pointing. Once I've switched to the physical Archimedes on the medic's hand, I'm using the version from the game that sits on your shoulder, which has this really annoying. It's really nice in the game, and it just jiggles back and forth as it moves. But here in the movie, it was a super pain in the ass, and I'm pretty surprised that people didn't bring it up as weird. You can see it real bad here, where he just keeps jiggling around in almost every shot. Um, so continuing on, more jiggling Archimedes. So Medic gets angry and he turns and looks up. Here's where I do the demon arm effect. So I found a big demon arm in the Dota 2 files, which comes out of the ground as part of a visual effect. It's actually a set of two arms. There's a left one and a right one, but the left one, or the right one, is just hidden deep below the level. And all I really do is, when the demon arm comes out, I suck the medic's arm back in and pop the full arm out. So it looks totally fake here, but once I have the silhouette here, as again, you can just blend it all together because it's all black. So again, just more trickery there. So continuing on, yep, and I'm just stretching the bones here. It was a real pain in the butt, but I think it worked out okay. So the demon arm comes out, turn the lighting back on. Medic gets angry, surprised, and again you'll see the arm switch with the regular arm. So as it comes in, the arm comes out, and then he drops down. And then once we turn the lighting on, that arm effect just kind of works out okay. It's also helped by the fact that it's moving very fast. You'll notice as at the very second, or somewhere around here. Wait, where is it? Okay. Wait, what's going on here? I'm confused by something I did here. Oh yeah. All right. So I have two Archimedes in the hand here. I have one visible Archimedes and one invisible Archimedes, and so I'm applying the red effect on the invisible Archimedes and disappearing the visible one on this cut here. So you can kind of see that happening as he makes the switch from being physical to metaphysical. Again, the arm sucks in. We switch back. Fun fact about this shot is it's actually tilted quite a bit. I think the medic is standing at so the medic is totally leaning the other way, but for some reason I had to tilt the whole shot on its side to get the visuals looking good. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure why I did that, but I did. So yep. So that's cool. We got the hootie owl. Medic pulls the thing. I have to use a half broken arrow for this shot here. I wish I had made it come out of the barrel better. It just kind of disappears. Arrow flies along, strikes the medic. You can see how I totally screwed up his arm animation here. But again, because it's all black, it doesn't really show up. So you can get away with stuff like that where things are just completely broken visibly. So let's see here. Medic, Archimedes. Yep, so that's cool. The good medic jumps up. This is a major cheat of a shot. So this shot is basically... so you would expect the medic to be jumping from over here. But when he jumps, he's actually at a very different angle. So it's... oh, I didn't even notice his legs were so crazy on this shot. As you can see here, he's just at such an angle. Yeah, it's hard for me to illustrate exactly what I was doing with this shot, but I was making a major cheat on this medic to get him into a different position. But it's hard. I can't really say much about it. So he jumps. It's all just moving in slow motion. In this shot, the medic actually accidentally has the Medigun for some reason. From the earlier version of this movie, I forgot it was there and forgot to remove it. So the arm comes up, and he just kind of grabs. And then as soon as he goes up, I have this lightning effect that I found in... where did I find that? Left 4 Dead 2, and some rain that I found in Team Fortress. I kind of thickened it up a bit. So yeah, it's pretty much he's just pulling this out now. Right on the cut, I also changed the color a bit, so you'll notice it's kind of purple here, and then I just kind of shift it slightly blue here to make it feel a little more stormy. Nothing kind of crazy there. We move on, and we're kind of into the open ocean part. So if you look here, the ocean set looks a lot like this. So it doesn't look like an ocean at all, but it's the best I could kind of do. I have this big circular skybox piece you see here. So I have about 40 of these kind of stretched out to make a big plane to fit the shots, and then I'm animating them. If you look closely, you can see that they animate up and down and kind of move to kind of look like the outline of an ocean. Continuing on, this is a Left 4 Dead boat, I believe. You'll see here I'm just using a big rock with a bunch of grass crapped on it to make this kind of island. And again, with the silhouette, everything looks fine. This rain, I think, is pretty close to the camera. Nothing fancy there. And this boat's just got some subtle drift. Interestingly, in this shot, the bird here is not actually Archimedes. I'm using a Portal 2 bird because he had a really nice inbuilt animation that I just was able to use. So you'll see here that is the Raven from Portal 2 instead of being Archimedes. And I just did that so I could quickly take the animation. Though you will notice it's substantially larger than the other Archimedes. So here we go. Medic gets angry. We have the decapitation shot that so many people love or hate. And the way this one works is pretty much there, from the whole shot through, there is a decapitated version of the medic's head inside of his head. It's the one that explodes off of the medic when he jibs. And then I have a second one just inside of his neck to create the neck hole. So that right there is an upside down medic head. I can't. Yeah, it's a little tricky for me to show you, but it's basically I have two heads, and then I suck the regular medic head into the body right on the cut. So it's just a real quick way to do dismemberment, and it seems to work okay, though it is pretty smooth. Yep. So that goes like that, and just have a little bit of twitch. You'll notice the medic is actually dangling over the edge on this shot, and then on the next shot I cheat him in so that he's not over the edge, and for some reason the other medic is squatting real good. And he's like not standing on anything. His body is totally twisted, but from the one shot that I needed it worked okay, so... that's how a lot of things go. If it looks good from the angle that your camera's looking, it doesn't really matter. So, yep, yeah, there you can see the medic head that I was using to create the neck hole right on the back there. The bird cage is in the shot as well. I think that's mostly it. On this shot, I'm just, as the bird flies away, I'm just lowering all the lights in the level, except for the one light on the medic and the one light on the bird. And he flies straight into the shot. And that's kind of a, yeah, so that's Bad Medicine. That's how it worked. If you had any questions, leave a comment. It's a little late now, but if you haven't seen the movie, I'll post that in the comments as well. So, hope that you learned something. If you learned anything, actually, I hope that you learned that being able to create really good-looking stuff doesn't mean that it actually has to always look good. It just has to look good once from one angle and under one lighting condition. So I hope I can encourage you to experiment more and try more artistic things along the way. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Take it easy.